Hey everybody, I'm APH. Welcome back to the City of Lost Hope and Kingdoms Reborn. Now, in the last episode, we left off with this city center just kind of building up. Disaster had just struck where all of our tulips and my lack of cannabis caused a collapse of our economic structure, and we lost a lot of houses. Now, in between episodes, I went ahead and let everything kind of just cycle to get everything restored. Now, about 10 minutes before I started recording this episode, I got a comment that one of my traders, I had set it up to sell candles and didn't set it up for cannabis. So starting off this episode, we're going to go ahead and start with this trader, just so I can get him set up correctly. This one's coffee. We'll change this one as well. I think we're going to switch this one to importing wheat. Now, I think I have enough farms, but I'm starting to notice where the windmills are shutting down, so I'm just going to keep 500 wheat at all time. Let's check this one, exporting candles. Now, I believe that this was actually meant to import cannabis, and this probably would have kept last episode from happening, but I got the message too late. So thank you for noticing and pointing it out in my videos. I love these comments. Keep them coming. Let's import up to 1,000. That should allow our cannabis down to the south to actually catch up. We might get down one for tulips as well. We no longer need to import paper. Yeah, let's go ahead and do tulips as well. Yeah, we'll set it for 1,000 just like the rest of them. This last one is still exporting leather, something that I think is fairly important. We might move this around a little bit. The last thing that we're going to look at here, at least over in this trade district, we're not having enough grapes year-round to produce wine constantly. Do we have enough concrete to upgrade both of these? We do. Let's go ahead and move these into the industrial age. And let's get a trade company down here, just for the sole purpose of supplying a little bit more grapes. Now, in the last episode, we had books. The ability to make books had finally researched. Now, in this episode, I do want to get into doing books, but I'm doing this episode a little bit different, so you guys are going to have to let me know what you think. Typically, I would go build a big city center. Let's bring in 1,000 grapes. I would go ahead and build a big city center. But I've been thinking, we've done that. So in between episodes, I went ahead and plopped down the city center. Now, it is freshly down. We still haven't filled them, and we still haven't got all of the, we haven't brought in enough people to house it. So all we've set down is just the city center. And in order to move into pumpkins, we set down some blueberry farms. So in this episode, let's proceed with getting books down. So let's put over on this side, that road might be a little bit too close. Let's get our actual production so we can see what all it needs. So with this, we will go with kind of our basic setup with our storage, because I'm pretty sure, just like any other industry, it makes our people not very happy. And I believe it's a printing press. Yes, we'll get 2 of them. Only 35,000 to build it. Let's go ahead and build both of them and build the warehouses. I'm to a point where I know that at some point in time I need to start putting down foresters. So I'm going to care less about the wood and more about the efficiency of the town. So we're just going to quick build as much as possible now. Oh, there's not an actual hotkey for quick building roads. So let's bump the budget up. Let's set a production target of 6,000. Do we have enough iron? We do. We'll go ahead and upgrade these. I'm not going to put it into the actual electric yet. We'll get a coal producer over here, and we'll get another power plant over here. And that will kind of do the setup, and we'll get farms. We're midsummer, so we've got time before the next season. So let's go ahead and put a coal production here. That will keep this city center kind of up and going. This will probably be... Books will probably be the only thing that this area actually produces because we have extra bakeries in order to catch up. So the extra power will also help with the extra bakeries. So we need coal. Thankfully, our coal is caught up a little bit, but it's not where I'd like it to be. Excellent. And then last of all, we'll get our power down. And with that high fashion just finished, so we can get into the cotton mill, which would allow us to make the actual clothes, or we can focus this on getting the printing press and maybe our second world wonder. Let's go ahead and queue up the castle. I don't think that's going to take very long to get going. And we'll get it placed down, and then we'll go ahead and go back into the next technology. Let's go ahead and build these real quick. Let's go ahead and get these guys upgraded. We will take them right into electricity. Power, it will take care of itself. We're autumn. All right, back into the tech. We'll go ahead and do cotton mill next. That will allow us to actually produce it. We'll take the castle book and we'll get a home for that. In this area, I see the overlay for dye, so it's probably going to be tricky because it looks like we're only going to have a very limited amount of space to put this farm in. So we might put them a little bit closer than we typically do. We'll go ahead and go 10 by 6. We'll probably put another 10 by 6 this way to get as much of that green area as we can. Try to set it to dye and quick build it as soon as they're finished. See if this one actually works. Yeah, it's enough in there that it did. Now, lastly, our last dye production. Now, what this will do is hopefully enough dye that it will produce for books as they're going, as well as for paper. Or not for paper, for clothes when we get that going. But at least this is a good start. Let's get roads down. And let's... I should have put that one over. That's okay. I think this is enough room for a barn. If that is, we'll go ahead and play that off like that was intended. That will work as the storage for our dyes. Blueberries are starting to come in. Let's go ahead and shut off all of our overlays. And this area is all ready to go for next season. That way by next fall, hopefully we're into producing paper. I don't know that we need a production limit for dyes. Looking at our luxuries, looks like wine's starting to stabilize. Let's go take a look at our 2 cloth productions really quick. Let's get rid of our fertility overlay. Oh, it's because I'm clicking on a farm. Not enough input. Let's go ahead and upgrade our coffee roaster on the way by. I got caught by the not enough input. Now, close. We should probably put some storage in here just to make this more efficient. Okay, we've only set it as 1,000. That's why we only have 1,000. Let's go ahead and up it to 6. Let's drop this one. We'll go ahead and disallow all on both of these. And we'll go ahead and drop them and replace them with warehouses. And let's get a warehouse kind of tucked right in here. Kind of box in our bank there. Excellent. Let's get a road in between. I think that would make it look a little bit more filled out, as well as a road behind where our cattle is. I think we're starting to look like a prim and proper town here. Now, we can get rid of our iron smelter, because we do have the actual industrial iron smelter. Oh, I have to get rid of some cards. That I do. Requires stone, iron, and glass. Hmm. We're gonna have to find a spot that's good for this. We could place it in between our hubs. That area doesn't actually look good. I don't want to buy a power plant. Don't want it in my fruit trees. Let's go ahead and clean up this area and we'll go ahead and place it here. Let's turn off our tree so we can actually see. Yeah, I think this is good. Because what we'll do is, in between episodes, I'll go ahead and frame this in and make it look a little bit better. Not huge on being artistic, but we'll make at least something work. 200,000 just to flat out build that. It does get a bonus. I believe it's 5% to appeal. We are in winter, which means that we have the extra laborers. Oh man, look at those guys, just ants everywhere, clearing them out. Yeah, we'll leave that. We'll let it go ahead and just build itself because they're clearing it out fairly quickly. Can I boost it? Get it going even faster? So let's take a look real quick. I know the cathedral does 10% job happiness. This gives 15% extra influence. What's the next? The Grand Palace is 20% building appeal. So I think after Cotton Mill, we'll go ahead and get the Grand Palace. That will be our third wonder. And then in the actual upgrade tree, I believe the exhibit hall is last, which is 20% gold from luxuries. Something that I don't think is actually really necessary with the way we're going. That will kind of be the way we finish probably this series, is building the exhibition hall. All right. Looks like they're starting to haul, so that should be good. Let's check on our labor situation because we're up to 900 people, as well as shut off our immigration office now that we're caught up. Looks like we're still at 50 of 50 laborers. We want to get that up to roughly 100 now. And it looks like we have a lot of children, so we're probably going to have to back that down. And it looks like we're still at the glass smelter. So we still need, well, we really need probably 50 of these kids to become adults. So that will happen over the next couple of seasons. Let's see what else we can get. Let's check on our vodka because we're getting low there. We haven't upgraded it. We've got the stones. We have the glass. We don't have the concrete to do both of them. We might need a second concrete facility to keep up. We're only producing 183 per year. That tells me there's an actual problem with that. Oh, our concrete is below our glass production. Let's go ahead and show our technology tree. Nope, we want to go ahead and go back to the upgrade tree. We want the Grand Palace. It's going to take about, I don't know, about 20 minutes in game. We do want the cotton mill, but not yet. We're not ready to actually move into that. Let's go ahead and move up our concrete. This will kind of take care of itself as we get our population starts moving around. Excellent, we're in good shape. So something that has been repeatedly asked about is, how do the fruit gatherers gather so much? And the answer is kind of simple. You can see the 124 coming up there. This bonus yield really plays into everything. So a tree produces roughly 6. By the time you get your bonus yield of 900%, I think it moves that 6 to roughly 50 some. And then you get the yield of the actual forest fruit gatherer, which is 280%. At least for this one, because it's got 2 motivation books in it. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and drop 2 more. In the next one, we want to continue that pushing them around. As you saw, another 124 came up there. So it takes the bonus of the tree and then multiplies it by the bonus of the actual fruit harvester. So this tree that I was just on, this one, almost 1,000. has a potential to roughly get 60 fruit with a 100% fruit gatherer. By the time it's boosted up to almost 300%, that 60 becomes 180, which is, as this forest matures, means that every single fruit we gather just gets that much better. So leaving these to longevity is pretty huge. There was 1,000 that I just clicked on. It's 1,003. As well as each fruit gatherer can only visit, from what I'm seeing, don't know for a fact, I haven't looked at like a dev kit or anything, they can only go to so many trees per season. So if we go ahead and grab out our fruit gatherer, you can see I have about 313 in this area, kind of moving around. It's just in that 300 range. So if each one of these fruit gatherers can go to even 3 per season, that means that they can only make it to times 2 people, roughly 30-ish trees per season. So between spring, summer, and autumn, we're only getting about 90 trees before these guys are completely maxed out for the year, which is how this density works as far as it is. And I've had a few questions about that, so I wanted to go into a little bit more depth. The downside of this is you need haulers in the late game, and I've kind of tucked some in here, but they're hard to see, in order to actually back the fact that the laborers themselves only move 10 base game. Once you get into the later tech, I believe it's logistics 5, it doubles the hauling capacity, and they allow for the movement of 20. The actual, not logistics, the logistics 1, the hauling service, hauls up to 50 per cart, and I believe that also doubles with the logistics 5. So if a hauler hauls, they'll actually move 100 per round. You can actually see one right here. Let's go ahead and see if we can click on him. He's sick, so we're going to have to watch him a little bit carefully, and it's almost out of food. But he'll just kind of roam around, and he'll pick up quite a bit. I don't know where he's moving resources. They actually have... They're one of the few things where even if you place them, over here, their range, even though... Let me grab one out. So it's a hauling service. You can kind of see some of the ranges of some of them. Even if I place one here, which I'll go ahead and do, just for purpose of these fruit gatherers are down here, they will go pretty far outside this range. And they act as kind of a buffed up version of the laborer. They can be extremely useful, but they can also be very bad, because unlike a laborer, they won't do certain jobs. But unlike a laborer, they also get the wheelbarrow and they get to move a lot more. Looks like our laborers have just about filled this up. Let's go ahead and quick build it. And then you can go ahead and upgrade it to 2 extra workers. Pairing it right with when everybody paid taxes. Quite the announcement there. And then you can see this guy's way outside of his range, and he's going down and actually grabbing fruit. At least I think that's what he's doing. She is doing, 81-year-old woman, moving resources. And that's kind of how they work. They can be beneficial, but you need a big population of laborers in order to back it. And you want roughly... Well, you probably want, for a town this size, you probably want 100 laborers and 100 haulers in order to get it moving correctly. Now, I don't quite have enough of either, and we are coming up on that 1,000 mark. It looks like we're still teetering on 278 kids, so we still want that to balance out. All right, enough about the fruit. It looks like these have harvested. They've produced, this one has produced none, so we're gonna have to watch that. There might be an issue. This one has also produced none. This one produced 70, so our first book should be getting done. go see if anything is queued, and it is not. I don't see books in the actual houses. So it still might be early enough in the season that they just haven't finished. It's pretty effective because it only takes 14 of the dye to 59 of the paper. And we could actually put a sustainability book in it to even make it better. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a motivation and a sustainability in both of them. That way they really just pump out. And we haven't actually produced any yet this year. So let's bump them up to see what we can get going. Trees are finally on a decline because I've been using the fast build function instead of using the letting them harvest. So we're going to look at where do we start planting forests that will produce the wood we need where we're not actually, ruining the whole aesthetics of the area, I guess, and ruining our forest up here. I think this is a good spot to go ahead because it matches kind of in between our coal to place our first one. Now the range on these is a lot smaller than you'd think. We can probably place it here, and we'll go ahead and place it to where it's facing the coal. We'll keep our production capped at, we'll keep it capped at 30,000. Keep a good amount. This is going to be our first one where we are planting non-fruit trees and cutting. We'll cut any trees. Once we drop our 2 motivation books in there, get it quick built and get it upgraded. We're at 314% efficiency, so these guys should hopefully, pile in and get going real quick. Now we are early spring and I don't have people in there. Let's go ahead and check our priority list and see where foresters are. They used to be at the top. Might have moved down the list since then. We're not at our production goal, unless I set it lower than what I thought I did. Yeah, I might have set it lower than I thought I did. Might have set it to 3,000 accidentally instead of 30,000. Oh, it kept it at 1,000. Let's try that again. There we go, 30,000. This is old growth, but it is oranges. We do have some river plants over here. This should clear out this area. And then we're going to want to create kind of a boundary here like I did up above, where it just creates a zone where there is no trees. And we're going to watch that zone because we don't want our oranges and our non-fruit trees kind of intermixing, because we're going to get that if we continue this. This is probably another area. It looks like it's starting to get river production, but it's probably another area that we can get a forester. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. This is just a preemptive because I see this becoming an issue. Got our motivation books. We'll go ahead and upgrade this as well. Still cutting and planting. We want to make sure we set it to non-fruit trees. At least in the cold area, the pine trees produce way more than fruit trees. I'm not sure about down here. Excellent. This area is in good shape. I think we're ready to take this city kind of in a different route. We've been progressing over to the north, and at least down here to the south, over to the north, over to the east, at least down here we have seen where this is the furthest we can go. So do we start proceeding into the desert, work our way over and get gems, which would get us prep. Zooming out a little, I don't see any gold until we get up here. So looking into the next episode, we want to get the tailoring going for that part of high fashion. To get into actual gold work, we're either going to need to import gold itself, or we're going to have to look at putting a colony up here. Just to fix the way that this province looks, let's go ahead and round it out. And we're gonna... So here's definitely a thing we're gonna do in the next episode. We have cotton here and we have cotton here. in order to actually get the cotton mill going, we're going to need that cotton. Yeah, let's go ahead and start putting those plans in place. Let's see the fertility here. This has some decent fertility, so I could place a hub here. This is tulips. It has a decent productivity. Yeah, let's go ahead and start claiming these territories. We're going to try to stay with motivation books. We don't have the room, so we're not going to take this next group. Here's another dye. Not very fertile, but at least it's another dye. So what we could do here is we could split this area up between wheat to expand our ever-growing bakery. Speaking of that, ooh, we are hurting there. We might actually have a food collapse. Okay, let's take a look at our bakeries and see what's going on. Let's go ahead and get our overlays back turned off. Let's see what's going on with the bakeries. Might have to start putting down sustainability books just to make sure they're all going. That or it's an issue where we just have too many kids and not enough people to sustain them. See how electricity looks. We are good on electricity. We have concrete, we have steel. I moved 6 bakeries into the next era. Let's kind of tab around and see if there's any bakeries that I missed. Thinking that all of them are upgraded into that era. Maybe we're going to need to put some more bakeries down to feed the mouse we have. That or flour. Reduction in consumption. Yeah, let's look at flour. I have a feeling that might be the issue. Let's go ahead and plop this guy down. Oh, it's overlapping. Let's get him down here. We'll immediately quick build. We'll go ahead and... Wow, money replenishes quick. Let's get him upgraded all the way. I still want to continue. Let's put a sustainability and a motivation in them. Just so that we're more efficient at turning our wheat into flour. And let's go ahead and get these upgraded to electric. This one seems different than the other ones. Yeah, like this one produces 98 per round, where the last one was only producing... Oh, I bet you part of the efficiency is boosted by the nearby granary. I did not know that the windmill would be affected by that. Go ahead and grab that motivation. We'll go ahead and continue our production. This one is up to 200 and... Oh, it's because it has the motivation book. Yep, let's go ahead and get a motivation and a sustainability there. Same here. Now, can we put down a couple more windmills? We've got one here. Can we manage one over here? Just overlapping. And this would at least be within range of the hauling office. Let's go ahead and upgrade it. Really need that granary. I think you can store flour in the granary, which if you can, I'm okay spending the money on it. And we're late enough game that the money aspect doesn't matter as much, as well as it would be a storage ground that nothing else could go into other than food related. Sweet flour does go in there. inaccessible. All right, let's, oh, there it goes. So this is a bug that I was telling you about earlier in the series. When a road is not built, sometimes it will come up inaccessible. And sometimes I've seen where even the roads have to be quick build in order for it to become accessible. Let's go ahead and quick build that. Let's put... We've got this as far away from all of our production. Let's go ahead and get a trade here. Just to supply this guy. And we'll go ahead and quick build him as well. Let's go ahead and get wheat. And one of the things that I might have to look at, is it better just to go ahead and get the wheat flour, or better just to buy the wheat and turn it? Go ahead and bring it up to 1,000. Let's bring it up to the current age. I don't know that I need electric for it. That will at least move enough flour into this area to make it worthwhile. Let's go ahead and get the books in it. Now, is there anything else I should do to this one? We've got the actual raw flour. How much wheat did we actually go through? We went through 3,000. Our production goal is 5,000. Let's go ahead and bump this up to 7. That should get, and we're not enough electricity. Some power plant has shut off. I think this one's just lacking coal, and then it should start back up. Let's get one more coal power as well. We'll put it on the other side over here by our furniture workshops and by our industry over here. I think the petroleum fuel also uses the same exact amount of, or well, it uses petroleum instead of coal, so it doesn't use the exact same amount. I believe that it produces the same 50 kilowatts. So other than the fact that it uses its own resource instead of coal, I'm not sure if it's that much better. But we are about to finish the Grand Palace, and that would be the moment to actually double back and get it. Let's go ahead and power bill to him. Let's get a hauler over here to back this area. We snag it in here. It's one too short. Can I place it here? Yeah, I think this is a good spot. Let's go ahead and quick build that. After we build up this area, we're probably going to have to put some foresters in this side as well. Now, well, we weren't paying attention. Our castle built. Number of castles built, 1. And it looks majestic, so I'm going to have to figure out a good way to decorate it. We will go ahead and plop down some roads now, just to kind of remind me that I need to do something with it. And we'll make it a little bit... I might do something where it's like a double row of roads, kind of as much around it as I can. And then maybe some sort of park or something as we get parks. But I think this is a good spot to go ahead and pick our next technology. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get petroleum for oil rigs. Doesn't say how much it produces, but reveals oil, gets our rigs, it gets our petroleum. Let's get that. And with that, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. And in the next episode, we're going to get that Grand Palace down. I believe we have books now. We do. So in the next episode, we're going to get high fashion going with fashionable tailoring. Possibly move into another region for gold. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.